Hi, I'm Michelle Moreland. I'm a technology consultant with InnerScope Hearing Technologies. Today, I'm actually going to cover a couple of things. The first thing that we're going to be talking about is the product Teeny. This device actually comes with a user's guide, and today's purpose of this video is to go over more in detail what is in the user's guide for the Teeny. You have in your wonderful box that comes with the Teeny a little package to store it in whenever the device is not in use. Of course, it comes with a battery, but you can get these in big packages of batteries anywhere. And the size of battery that you're actually going to use is a size 10 battery, but we will cover that more throughout the video. Also, inside your box that you will receive, you'll get different size domes or rubber tips. And I will cover the purpose of that, when to change that actual rubber tip, all throughout this video. Let's go ahead and get the device out of the bag that it comes in, a little baggie here. And with the Teeny product, it is not standard left to right, it's universal. So there's no color coding on it to identify which side it goes in, but let's go over some of the components on the device. The first thing is this little pull string here is not an antenna. This is actually to remove the device comfortably out of your ear. Also up here is a little push button. This is to change the different volume settings. 1 beep is the lowest setting in volume. You'll get 2 beeps, 3 beeps, and then 4 beeps, which is the loudest setting that you can actually have in this device. You have here a little notch next to that pull string, and it swings open, and this is your battery compartment. So we're going to demonstrate that in just a moment, how to insert the battery. And of course the tip. Right now it has a medium-sized rubber tip on here, and that's pretty standard for most customers to just get it right out of the box and be able to use it just like so. But we will cover again the purpose of these other sizes. So let's go ahead and focus on insertion of the battery. On the actual device, when you open the battery compartment, you will actually focus on a little red dot. This red dot represents the positive side, but is in the upright position. So if you have it upside down for whatever reason in your hand, you will not see that red dot. Please flip it over so that you may see that red dot. Let's go to our battery package that we have here. This is size 10 battery, and the color that is referenced to this size is the color yellow. So you see those little sticky tabs. We're going to go ahead and place the battery into my hand. These are zinc air batteries. They are mercury free, so you can dispose of these into your trash bin. But because they're zinc air, what we have to do to activate the battery is we need to remove this little yellow sticky. So we're just going to peel this off of the battery. And some of my patients actually like to use this little yellow tab here that you can see to put on their calendar. This helps to remind them or give them a reference of how far they've actually used the battery, meaning 5 to 6 days is the actual battery life, depending on how often you're using the device. But they put this on their calendar so they can figure out, okay, I'm going to have a pretty active day. Today is the 5th day. Maybe I should put in a fresh battery. So you can use it as you please, but for now, I'm going to just stick it right here on the back of the package. So now the battery. Looking at the battery itself, you can see, if you look really closely, there's actually an engraved cross, and this is a positive sign to reference the positive side of the battery, and it's nice and flat and shiny. On here are little ports. This is where it's actually absorbing the air because we peeled off the sticky tab, and it's fully activating so that you can get that full duration of 5 to 6 days. On the other side of the battery, you can see this uneven ridge or a little black lining there. That is the negative side, and we're going to talk about how you actually want to hold that to place it into the device. Looking at the device, we want the battery compartment open, red dot facing up. There's a little ledge or ridge, even some people call it a lip, but basically that's what you're going to be resting the battery on. We're going to hold the flat positive side facing upwards towards us and then up against our thumb. Our forefinger is actually underneath the battery, supporting it so that we can come to the device. And you want to go from the side opening here of the battery compartment. Reason being is because people that do it top to bottom, They found that it's very difficult to balance it, to insert. So best recommendation for you is to go inserting it from the side. So now we're going to just pop that in. I give it a little pinch to make sure it's secure, and then we close the compartment. We've now inserted the battery correctly. We've closed the compartment. It is now on. It is activated. And if you notice while I was talking, I did give, as soon as I removed that sticky tab off of the battery, I did give it a good 10 seconds to fully generate up for that full duration you're looking for, okay? So now I just want to demonstrate for you, if I may, the improper way to insert the battery. So we're just going to peel the battery out. I now have the negative side of the battery facing up, which is that uneven side. The flat positive side is facing away from me. We're now going to go from a side angle. We can see the red dot on the battery compartment. And we're going to pop this in and pinch it. But guess what? We go to close it. Very difficult. Now, some people have been able to get it closed, but I will tell you, your device will have no sound. It will be dead. And then also you could damage the device. So please do not force the battery compartment closed. When properly inserted, which we're going to do now, we're going to turn this back over with the flat positive side facing up, and we're going to go ahead and close like so. That is the correct way to actually close that battery compartment and insert the battery. So now what I would like to cover for you is the insertion technique. The upright position, as I like to call it, is to have this pull tab at the bottom of your ear so that it's resting in the bowl area here. And this pointy tip is actually going to go into the ear canal. This rubber tip here goes the deepest into the ear canal to project the sound of amplification. So let's go ahead. What we're going to do is, some people use this as a handle, or you can put your thumb underneath the device, forefinger on top, go straight back, and actually kind of angle it towards your nose. Your ear canal is not straight. There is a bend in our ear canal. I'm going to gently place inside. I'm going to use my forefinger to kind of guide it, okay? And then to make sure that it's secure, because this goes in nice and deep so that it's invisible and comfortable, we are now going to pull up on the top portion of the ear, and we're going to use the opposite hand, and we're going to use our forefinger again, and we're going to just do a hook motion, and we're going to pull that and push at the same time towards our nose to get it up and in. This little pull tab that you can kind of feel with your forefinger, if it's sticking out a little bit just due to the anatomy of your ear, just kind of tuck it into that little bowl area so that way it doesn't stick out like an antenna. But it's comfortably placed, and that's how it should look inside the ear. Now let me go ahead and demonstrate an improper way to insert the device. You can actually insert this upside down. So to remove first, pull on the pull tab, gently pull, and you just now removed the device from your ear. Now I'm going to turn it upside down. Again, this is the improper way to insert this device, but I'm going to show you. You then will put your thumb, forefinger, thinking you're doing everything right. You will place it into the ear, and again, try and use your forefinger as you're following my directions. It doesn't go in very well, and I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it's a horrible whistling sound. And that's because it's not seated correctly inside the ear canal. It can be painful. It can create that horrible whistling and feedback sound, and it's not a good idea to do so. So please follow these instructions. Again, these are illustrated for you in your user's guide that comes in the package. So now, this rubber tip, let's cover that. When do we want to change the rubber tip? Well, as I demonstrated for you how to properly insert this device, sometimes it can have a lot of play, or still, you're pretty confident you got it in the correct place, everything's seated correctly, but you're getting that feedback whistling sound. Well, that's when we have too much sound leaking around the device. We're not giving you the full benefit of what this device can actually help you hear with. So you're going to want to remove the rubber tip and place one size up. Or if you want to go down in size, the reason for this is because you feel discomfort with this current style, that's the only reason you actually would want to go down to a smaller, is it just was uncomfortable, it didn't glide into the ear canal easily, and that's when you'll want to go smaller. But again, to go up, we're going to go ahead and remove this rubber tip that I currently have, and it's a sleeve, so you're just going to kind of peel this rubber tip off of the tip of the device. You can see that it's got a nice point to it. That's why we put at least a little rubber sleeve of some sort on there to make it more comfortable to you. Let's go into our little bag that has some of those other domes or rubber tips inside. And we're going to go one step up. You never want to go all the way to the largest. Just work your way slowly to find out what works best for you. To now place the actual rubber tip onto the device, you can see here that there's a nice good opening. That's the actual sleeve of the rubber tip. We're going to hold the device, and we're just going to slide that little rubber tip on, and you can just use your fingers just to securely place that. Sometimes it takes a little bit just to get it securely on there. There we go. And the reason for me using my forefinger like this is to make sure that it's secure. We do want to make sure that you make sure if you change this or ever take it off, or maybe when you were cleaning you accidentally removed it, that when you go to place it back on, just really give it a good push down with your forefinger to secure that rubber tip. Then what you'll do is you'll take the device, pull string is at the bottom of your ear, thumb and forefinger, go straight back, and you're going to insert and then apply and push towards your nose. And again, lift up on the top of the ear and glide with the opposite hand with that forefinger and push towards your nose. I'm getting a little bit more whistling, and the reason for me is I have the perfect size ear canal for that first tip that we actually had on it. So right now this is a little bit tight for my ear canal, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the device, but that's how you'll be able to experiment with these different size rubber tips to find the right fit for you and eliminate any complications or sound quality issues and give yourself the best boost of hearing that you can. I'm going to go ahead and remove this now by pulling on the pull string. And we've removed that now. So what we're actually going to cover now is how to clean the device. Very low maintenance on these devices. One thing I will tell you is please do not store whenever it's not in use. Do not store it into the bathroom area, anywhere that it can be accessible to moisture. Moisture does affect the components inside this device. That's why you don't want to take a shower with it. Working out is fine. It's just that after you're done with your workout or daily activities, you want to make sure that you just remove and just kind of wipe it down with a dry cloth. A lot of my customers actually like to use an alcohol swab. And the alcohol swab just sanitizes the device for you and keeps everything nice and clean. But what comes in that package is a little brush for you. We're going to take that brush and you're going to lightly brush over that little rubber tip. This is where the sound actually projects into the ear canal. So this is where the amplification comes from. If that is blocked with a little bit of wax or oils, debris, that will actually create some feedback or whistling issues, or even make the device seem weak. So that's why we recommend at least once a day giving it a good brush, whether it be first thing in the morning or before you go to bed, whatever works for you. Over this little device where that little push button is that I briefly discussed in the beginning of this video, underneath there is a little screen that is protecting your microphone. We want to actually brush that little screen that's covering your microphone to protect it. And then again, you can wipe down, and that's how you clean this device. So now, say it's time for bed, you've done the cleaning. We're going to go ahead now and turn off the device. You're going to open the battery compartment, just like so. You do not need to remove the battery. You just need to make sure that it's disconnected from the power, and that's how you'll preserve the life of your battery. Because I'll tell you, if you have this closed all day, all night, you're going to go through this battery about every 2 days. So make sure whenever it's not in use to have this compartment open so the battery is not engaged. When you're ready to use, just lightly close and it's ready to go for you. I'm now going to set this to the side and we're now going to cover the crescent.